The latest raid in Destiny has arrived. Scourge of the Past is here, so let's get to talking how to beat the damn thing. The first encounter of the raid is the Berserker encounter, and takes place in the city. To start this encounter, you must head to the top center of the arena and fight a Berserker, a new fallen enemy type that can only be damaged if you shoot off a panel on their chest and their back. But be careful, this can only be done when they activate a force barrier that slows you down and gives you a small window of opportunity to shoot the panels. Berserkers can also shoot you normally as well to take chunks of damage off of you. The best way to approach them is to split up with 2 or more people and take multiple angles to ensure that you can shoot the panels when they come up. Once you do that, their shield will break and they can be damaged. Once they're down, you can take a battery charge that they've dropped and insert it into the machine nearby you where you started the fight to officially start the encounter. Note that the Berserkers killed after this initial one will drop 2 batteries onward. The objective to this fight is to hunt down Berserkers, take their battery charges, and dunk them into locations all over the map in order to break barrier shields that block you from proceeding with the raid. There are 5 total dunk zones. These zones are located in the center of the map, which is where you started the encounter, and then on the north, south, east, and west side of the map respectively. Every team is different, so it's up to you to decide which side is which, just to avoid confusion. Speaking of locations, this encounter requires you to have constant navigation, aka a map reader, in order to tell you where your teammates are going. To read the map, you need to understand what the symbols mean, so let's start with the orange. Orange symbols are the enemy, aka Berserkers. The orange symbol with a big circle over it is the main Berserker you want to go after. Why? Because they drop 2 battery charges rather than 1. Yellow symbols are you and your allies, so you can navigate them where they're heading. Green symbols are the exit locations, aka the dunk zones for charges. Each of these will have a number of circles on them. Why does it matter? Well, when a Berserker is killed and they drop charges, when your team picks them up, they'll get a certain number of circles on their head. You must match each the same number on the yellow symbol as the green symbol in order to tell them where to go. So for example, a Berserker is down and teammate number 1 picks up a charge. They get 1 circle above their head, which means you have to tell them to go north, aka the Schnell building, to dunk their charge. Aside from navigation, the map reader will occasionally have to kill some enemies and a servitor in order to keep the center dunk zone free. Because if you don't, the servitor not only blocks the dunk zone and you can't dunk your charge, but it also blocks the map so you can't navigate your teammates at all. Now if you want to use numbers or directions instead of north, south, east, west, that's fine too. However, our group found it easier reading it like a compass because Berserkers spawn on the map at several locations and will not always be at an exit location. For example, a Berserker can spawn between north and west. What would you say? Left? Down? Would you give it numbers? As you can see, it's a little confusing for the average group, so because of this, I'd suggest having a map reader that knows how to read a compass and say locations such as north, northwest, south, southeast, and so on. In other words, reading from the map, north would be the Schnell building, south would be the opposite end, west would be left, and east would be right. Alright, now that reading maps is out of the way, now let's talk about the fighting aspect of the encounter. Berserkers all work the same way as the original one that you kill, so this tells you that you should be using close combat weapons as it will be constantly in their face to take down their shields. Stick to groups of 4 when hunting the Berserkers, and once it's down, make sure you pick up the orbs 1 person at a time, not to confuse your map reader, because they can only see where you are, they can't see who you are, so be sure to wait a few seconds in between picking up the charges so the map reader can say, ball 1 goes here, ball 2 goes there. Now once you know where to take the charges, take the same 4 people and split them up into a buddy system so that the charge holders can be escorted into their zones. The people escorting are in charge of killing servitors that block you from dunking charges. Once the servitors are gone, your teammate can dunk and then you can move on. But keep in mind that once a person picks up a charge, they'll get an ionized debuff, which means for 2 minutes they will not be able to pick up another charge. So in this case, you must swap roles or players in order to continue the encounter in a comfortable pace. In total, you must continue this process until 4 sets of battery charges are dunked on the map. Once you do this, the encounter is complete, and the barrier on the exit that you dunked on last will disappear and let you proceed into the maze. Sadly, there's no guaranteed way to pick a certain exit to take, so there is no one specific way to show you guys a guide on how to escape the maze quickly, so you'll have to experience its insanity for yourself. Smiley face. That's all for the Berserker encounter. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below, and if this guide helped you, feel free to drop a sub for more content, and I'll see you guys in the next raid guide video.